Well, hi, everybody.
No.
Oh.
What in the... No.
Hey, friends.
No.
That's
Get
what
it
it
right.
is.
Hi.
Hi, friends.
Thank you. You got to get these right. Everybody expects that.
I know. Well, welcome to another episode of Double Take the Podcast, and this is a special episode, Josh.
Yes, it is.
And
it sure is.
You know, we have had a lot of people ask us when we're going to start getting some Gold City alumni on the podcast.
And we thought we'd start with one of their sons, Nick.
We do have Nick
Hey,
Trammell
everybody.
with us today, but we also have Mr. Mark Trammell and
Quartet Man.
Quartet Man. He has a storied career in gospel music. And,
I don't know that anybody in the history of gospel music has a more storied career than
there's
Mark
not
Trammell.
many. There's not many. He's sung with
The three
the top
greatest
groups
of
Yes.
of what I would say is the modern era, the three greatest quartets that I can the Kingsmen, the Cathedrals, and Gold City.
and a great trio.
Yeah, and historic lineup in a trio too.
Yep.
Just how is it that you just fall into these things, Brother Mark?
Well, what it really is, you all have just revealed the fact that I can't keep a job.
Well, you got a good and at each place you had a good run, and it's
Yes.
one to the next, one
We
to the
have.
next.
All the politicizing aside, even I at times have wondered, Lord, how and why did all of this happen like it did? I promised the Lord that I would use the gift that He gave me. And I didn't give any details.
Mm-hmm.
So when these things happen during the seasons of these groups that you're talking about, and now for 23 years I've had my own.
Right.
And it's like, what happened? You turn around 51 years later, and here you stand looking, and all you can see is a long, straight road, just as far as you can go. You can see flags waving where the Lord said, I intervened right here on behalf of you because, and it can be a personal issue, it can be sickness, it could be the time for me to grow again. And that's so hard in our business. It is a really difficult thing when somebody says, I just know that I'm not supposed to be here anymore.
Right.
Because the people that are there, very often the management that's there is like, well, you don't want to be here? No.
Right.
Sometimes it's that, and you guys know that. Sometimes it just is, you know what, I just need to go home. And sometimes we'll blame our families for going home. And sometimes it is them.
Yeah.
And all of those stories will tell themselves with time, every one of them. If it's because I needed to go home for my family, it will show that that person needed to go home for their family. Did they need to make a change in life because they were at a point where God was growing them? Time will tell that story. Did they just get tired of the road and decided to be honest with themselves and go home and get a 9-to-5 job, which is not a sin, by the way?
I don't know now. Sometimes it feels like it.
It's not a sin. The people that can't do this don't need to do it.
Right.
If you can't handle, when I went to the cathedrals, it was because a gentleman was there for 6 months, and he decided he couldn't handle being on the road and being away from his family because he never had, and he was a grown man and had a family by that time.
And was good.
And was,
very good at what he
was
did.
Really good.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of elements that come into play.
I was thinking
But
about.
for me personally, it was literally, Lord, I'll use it. I'll do it. There's nothing that I love more, and you place that in me. Are there other things I could do and probably actually make a good living doing it? Yeah, oh yeah. But peace, there is a huge price to pay for having peace.
Oh.
Sometimes you'll pay it in a negative way, but most of the time you want to pay it in a positive way.
I was walking around today thinking about that subject because you did go from here to here, and then at times there was a here to here, and then at times was to go home and wait, and I know that there had to be times with, this is just life, with bosses, with the people that own what group or this or that and the other, where the Lord sometimes used them to tell us to go home. Not in a negative way, but things were changing. Mm-hmm. Things were different hires. This one, that one that would come in that didn't, yes. Characters didn't G-haul and things like that. That
personalities clashed.
Yeah, and it wasn't anything about you didn't want to do it. You didn't still love doing it. And I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about in general, because I was thinking through some of that, that things changed. And we don't know what the Lord's working in all of that to sometimes to get us past our stubborn will to go do something different.
Absolutely.
And it's scary.
Absolutely.
It's a very scary thing.
But I still believe if we get quiet, and Nick can tell you there have been times in years past when I would get really quiet. And that usually meant something was about to change. I'll never forget when I went to Gold City from Greater Vision.
Right.
Man, that was so bittersweet for me, because I loved quartet music, obviously. I love it with everything in me. But Gerald and Chris and I, we had lived through the hard part of starting.
Yeah. The van and the trailer and the hotel.
And it's like, okay, Lord, what's going on here? And I get a phone call from Tim, text message, or I'm sorry, a voice message. I didn't have text messages back then. A voice message. Say, hey, we're looking for a couple of singers. Just wanted you to know in case you hear somebody out there. Okay. Mm. The next voice message was right before we went on the Journeys of Paul trip with Greater Vision. I didn't answer it. I didn't hear it. It was done right after we left home. So when I got back, I heard it. Mark, we got a lead singer, but I need a baritone singer now. Well, that let me know that Steve Lacy had decided to sing lead.
Yeah.
So I called him. I said, hey, you're not going to believe this, but I think I'm supposed to come down there and talk to you. Mm. He said, what? I said, yeah.
He had to be floored.
I was floored.
Well, yeah.
But I knew when I got on the plane in Athens, Greece, that when I got home, things were going to change. Mm-hmm. And the reason I knew that is because the day before, on the last day of that trip, we went to the Isle of Patmos. Now, I wasn't John that day. I didn't get revelation.
Well, you got a revelation.
I was still Mark.
Yeah.
But I got this revelation. When we left that Greek Orthodox monastery, I walked out to that cave where all of the revelation happened. Walking back, you got to walk through the gift shop to get back out to the bus to go back to where we can get back on the ship. I walked through that gift shop, and guys, as real as I'm looking at you right now, there was a fella sitting behind the counter with a great big Alabama jersey on.
They're everywhere.
University of Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking, here I am on the Isle of Patmos, and this guy's got an Alabama jersey on.
It's a sign from God's what it was.
And
Roll Tide.
It was Roll Tide. It was. It was. And the next day when I sat down in the seat, and all of us have these moments when we can go back to, it was an overwhelmingly emotional moment when I sat down in my seat on the plane the next day to come home. I started squalling like a baby. Mm.
No family with you?
My wife.
She was.
And I'm sitting there, and it just hit me. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with me? And Larissa grabs my hand. She said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I don't know what it is." And then she said, "Does this mean we're moving when we get home?"
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Now, y'all, you can ask the boys that traveled with me on the Gold City bus. I am not an angel about to sprout wings and fly off. Okay, just plain old ordinary. What you see is what you get. That's all I've ever been. But I'm going to tell you, I knew that my time with Gold City was over.
Yeah.
Or with greater vision.
I mean, with greater
Yeah.
vision. And I knew when I got home what was going to happen.
Wow.
And had 8.5 years there.
Mm.
That was wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful.
Well, let's go back to. I want to go back because I told you earlier. I really want us just to take our time. There's no rush and no hurry with any of this, but I
Okay.
want to get into you growing up, and then Nick, I would the same thing with you growing up with the Quartet Man as your dad and all this. But take us back to the childhood, and we were doing a character from your childhood a minute ago at the baseball games. It
Yes.
just owns me every time I see you. I have to
Hot,
get
ain't it?
hot, ain't it?
Yeah.
It just kills me every time I hear it. But I want to hear some of that growing up that was the influence, because it wasn't just you; it was your brothers. I
No.
mean, it was.
I'm the youngest of 4 boys.
Yeah.
Baptist preachers' kids from Central Arkansas.
What town?
Grew up in North Little Rock.
Okay.
And Dad pastored. He was bivocational. He owned a plumbing business, and he pastored churches all of my life growing up. So we would have regional, local groups come in for
Yeah.
our fifth Sunday singings or homecoming every year. We'd have dinner on the ground, have a quartet come in and sing. Well, and then of course on Sunday mornings, Mom and Dad loved Singing Time in Dixie when it was on.
Okay.
That was the Statesman Blackwood Brothers.
Okay.
And then
And that was a national show.
Oh yes, it was.
I mean, that was
Oh,
people.
boy, that
People
was-
nowadays don't understand. There were 3 channels, and that was on one of those channels.
Oh yeah,
Crazy.
Yeah, ABC, NBC, CBS, and the NBC station carried Singing Time in Dixie.
Amazing.
Channel 4 in Little Rock. And then a few years later, when Jubilee came on,
Right.
it would come on right after Singing Time in Dixie. Then Singing Time in Dixie went off. I'm not old enough to remember the Caravan days, although I've seen lots of the footage from the Caravan days. Singing Time in Dixie was the first thing I remember. And then, lo and behold, there's this preacher from Akron, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
who grew up in Arkansas. And my dad knew of him. His name was Rex Humbard.
Right.
He had the Cathedral of Tomorrow.
Oh.
One of the pioneers when it came to television.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yet again, a national show.
Yes.
It was. Yeah.
And there's this group on there called the Cathedral Quartet that I fell in love with as a little boy.
They did start as a trio.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then George came along later. And, Lord, history goes way back in that. But when I was a little guy, my mom, I'd say I was 4 or 5 years old, somewhere in there. My mom would get me ready for church on Sunday morning while she's getting everybody else ready. She'd get me ready for church on Sunday morning first. And then turn the TV on.
She got the baby ready first.
Yes,
That's interesting.
she would. Instead of me being the last one to get ready,
Yeah.
I was the first one to get ready. And she knew if she would get me ready and put me in front of that television, turn it on, and let me hear them quartets sing, that she wouldn't have to worry with me.
Yeah.
And that literally is the way it was my whole time growing up. She'd get me ready, I'd go in there, and my older brothers loved it when I would imitate J.D. Sumner. It would be his voice, and I'm 5 years old, and I'm doing every word he's doing. And it was, if they laughed at me, but that's how we grew up, and that's how I got started doing this. I fell in love with it there. We would have regional groups come in. Then Mom and Dad, I guess it was 7 or 8 the first time we went to a live concert at the Robinson Auditorium in Little Rock. And I was ruined. from
What
then
years
on.
would that have been?
60.
Like who were the main groups that would come to that?
65, 66,
Okay.
somewhere in there is when
So
I
that
was
was Statesman.
Statesman, Blackwood Brothers, and by that time, the early versions of the Jubilee package were starting to
Okay.
come to town. Spear family would come once in a while to the Nazarene church there, and we'd go see them.
Wow.
But I mean, we saw Lefevre's, Kingsman, Cathedral Quartet out at the Teamsters Union Hall. They would come out there once a year.
Wow.
And Blue Ridge.
It literally the first golden era of gospel music. I mean, it was the pioneering of gospel music.
It was the last portion of the pioneering years. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. So did the boys sing, or was it? How did that come about?
We all could.
Okay.
But Jerry, my brother, just older than I, who sang
Incredible tenor
for the Florida Boys and
Yeah.
Blackwood Brothers, Stamps.
How much older was he than you?
8 years.
Okay. So he kind of went out and was already doing that
He
when
was
you were
doing
still growing
his thing. Yeah, it's so funny because Les Beasley. I had just gone to the Senators at age 15.
up. Wow.
Okay.
Now who was in the Senators?
At that time, it would have been Ray Shelton was the manager and the baritone singer. I found out that I went up there to play bass, and I found out from Friday night to Saturday morning when the bus left to go to Etowah, Tennessee, that I was going to be singing the lead that night.
Wow.
Because Gary Timms had decided he didn't want to travel anymore. So I did that night. I rambled my way. I thought I could do it, and so did a couple of guys on the bus. Oh, you can do this. We'll make sure we sing the songs you know. So that's how I got started, and I didn't even know I was going to.
And it
But
stuck.
it
You
was
just
Ray
stayed with
Shelton
lead.
and Tim Shelby, Rick Fair,
Wow.
Von Thacker, James Weiss. Am I missing anybody?
They were based out of where?
Was Hamill wasn't there then?
Hamill was not there yet.
Okay.
Memphis.
Okay.
Yeah. Hamill didn't come along until a couple years later.
Okay.
And
Were you still there
Yes.
when Hamill came along?
When Hamill came along, I was there for like 3 more months. Then I went home and finished the last part of my senior year in high school. Second semester.
Yeah.
I finished it and went right back on the road. But it's funny because even during that time, I was playing bass with Florida Boys. And most people don't have a clue about that. But if they were within 300 miles, I'd catch the bus and be with them all weekend long and come back home.
Wow.
And most of the time they were back in those days.
So that's
So
how it all started.
That's how all of it began.
So literally Senators at 15 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I sang in the very first group I was a part of. I played bass for a group called the New Horizons.
Okay.
That was at 13. And by 15 I was with we had Arkansas Boys for just a little while, and then I was one of my first weeks probably. Well, it was within the first month. Is what I was going to tell you a while ago, and I started chasing rabbits. Within the first month of my being with the Senators, we are in Malvern, Arkansas, at an outdoor event with the Florida Boys and the Hemp Hills and somebody else. I'm Jerry and the Singing Goffs. And Les comes up to me, he says, "Hey, boy." I said, "Yes, sir." "Can your brother sing tenor?" "Yes, sir." "He sure can." "Is he good?" I said, "Oh, he's as good as Laddie." And that's who was leaving. Laddie Kane was leaving. I said, "Oh, he's as good as Laddie." He said, "Well."
Now that was your big brother.
Yeah.
So I mean, come on, what was he gonna get?
And
Nah, he stinks.
The old man's talking to a 15-year-old boy, okay?
Getting
And he said,
advice
"Well,
here.
okay." "He is?" I said, "Yes, sir, I think he is." He said, "That's all I need to know." And the next week, Jerry was on their bus.
Holy
Now, it wasn't
smokes.
because of me, but
Well, yeah.
obviously, Jerry had tried out, and they were still trying to decide which one it was going to be out of the 4 they had tried out,
Yeah.
I think. And later on, Les told me, he said, if you hadn't been proud of your brother, I wouldn't have hired him.
That's crazy.
But you were proud of
He
your
was
brother.
checking his character.
Evidently so.
Yeah, I mean, that's what that was. He was just getting to read on what his little brother
Unvarnished
thought of it.
version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If his little brother bashes him, something ain't right.
Yeah. Yeah, if I shake my head, yeah, let's go eat and pray.
Now, where did the Southmen fit into that story? Was that after the Senators?
The
or
Southman was after the Senator.
Okay.
For about 3 months after I graduated high school.
How did that come about?
I literally graduated, was riding with the Florida boys, doing the Tupelo all-night sing
Yeah.
in the baseball field that they had back in those days. So that would have been the 1st of June, and Southmen were on the program, and I found out that they were getting ready to lose Buddy Burton.
Okay.
So I didn't tell anybody that I was interested. Somebody did, and I still don't know who it was, if it was my brother or if it was Les or Glenn Allred or some. But it had to be some of them. What boy might be interested was Jim Hefner comes to me and says, "Hey, can you do this?" I'd love to try.
So that was Buddy singing or just playing? What was he doing?
Buddy was singing baritone.
Okay.
And
Was Jack there?
no, Jack was gone.
Okay.
Jim Wood had taken Jack's place.
Okay.
So that was short-lived, and then I went.
But that was the connection to Tim
Yes.
at that time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I loved Tim.
Yeah.
Tim was a buddy prior to that time, but of course then I got to know him real well during those few months there. I want to tell you, that was more fun. I was, as my daddy used to say, "Boy, you was just fat, dumb, and happy. You didn't care." And that's
Well,
what I was.
That was all up in the Cletus days too,
Oh,
so he was a
yes.
real character
Yeah. Oh my, yes.
with all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody sent us a album cover because we were talking to Danny about his dad, and when Under Control, a lot of people thought it was Gold City that introduced Under Control, but it was actually the
It was
Southman.
actually the Southman. Yeah.
And somebody sent us a photo of that record cover,
With you on it.
and you were on it.
Yeah.
And Randy Matthews
Matthews
was
on
on it.
Matthews. Yeah.
Yeah. That was your. Did you move to Alabama at that time?
Yeah, I lived in Gadsden.
Okay.
That's the first time I lived in Gadsden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you left there, did you ever think, I'll never be? Did it even occur that you might be
It
back
didn't
in
cross
Gadsden?
my mind that I would ever.
I
be
guess
back.
you liked it a little, though. I mean, you ended up going back at there.
Well,
at
yeah,
some
we've been there nearly 30 years now.
I want to ask you a
I'll
question.
tell you what I tell all the guys that have come, that have ridden our bus over the years. Okay, I'll tell you the same thing, both of you guys, and you'll understand this immediately. Gadsden is not heaven,
Oh no.
but it can be home if that's what you make it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what we've done. And
It's a good little town. I mean, it's
yeah, it is
everything you need and some
Yeah,
things
and you're
you
not
want.
far from anything.
No,
that-
you're an hour from everywhere.
Yes, that's right.
Pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
you're in
Hour and a
45.
half from Atlanta Airport if you don't want to go out of Birmingham, which I'd rather go out of Birmingham.
Yep.
It's a lot smaller.
Just
That's
up
a
down the
good-
road. You're
Yes.
up Chattanooga's right this way. Huntsville's over there if you
Yes.
need it. So
Exactly.
it's not a bad spot to be.
No.
That's
no.
a good thought. Of course, anything's what you make it, right?
Yes, exactly.
Mark, we want to get to Nick too, and we're not going to have time to
Well, I want to
get
ask
in
Nick
everything.
something. Hang on just one second. What he's telling, do you know all this? Have you heard all of this, or you hear anything?
I've heard most of it.
Have you?
Yeah.
Because there's got to be things that you hear from time to time that, well, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Well, most of it I'm surprised he remembers. but
And there it is. Aren't you glad we included Nick today,
Yes,
Brother
I'm
Mark?
so happy.
But before we get to Nick, we're celebrating. We're getting ready to come up on Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and this episode will air before
He's
Thanksgiving.
all about these themes. Everything. I just want to get in here and talk ball. That's all I care
Yeah,
about. Let's
yeah.
talk. But it's that emotional tenor thing with him,
I
and
think-
it's all about this. Just be thankful it wasn't Halloween, and we had to lead up to that.
Amen. There we go.
Go ahead with your Thanksgiving.
What are you most grateful for on this journey?
Thankful. Thankful.
What'd I say?
You said grateful.
What?
But it's Thanksgiving.
It's
It's
the
not
same.
Great-sgiving. Let's go with it.
Great.
You got to get it right now. He wasn't reading it, so he got messed
that's
up.
great right there. What I am, you talking to me?
Yes.
What I am most thankful for is I asked the Lord when we started this 23 years ago, when I left Gold City, I asked the Lord to allow me to not keep my nose to the grindstone, but be able to actually see what he was doing as we grew. And
Wow.
he has given me that gift and that blessing to see every day. Will we ever be number one? I seriously doubt it. But that's not why we're out here.
Right.
And that's not platform talk. That is the truth. My men know full well I've been in number one groups quite a few times. Would I love it for them? Sure. But it wouldn't change me one bit if we were tomorrow. That's not going to change. What I'm most thankful for is God has given me the ability to watch him work and continue to provide everything we need, including a little bump in education once in a while. You need to know this
Yeah.
in order to be where we are today. And my men see him doing that. And that's the greatest blessing of all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't even know what defines number one anymore. I mean, honestly, I don't know what that would be anymore. So it's one of those things of,
Well, all the things that used to be used to formulate that,
yeah,
that we don't even use those anymore.
right. So it's not. I mean, back in the day, that was really something. But things have changed so much now that I don't know that any of us ever we need to be thinking about that as much.
When you guys hear that I've taken my last breath, you won't know what I'm thankful for. I would be thankful, eternally thankful, if people could say, that old boy meant it when he said he wanted to just be effective. And that's all.
Yeah.
And if what we do is effective and it touches people,
Yeah.
then we've won anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Merry Christmas, everyone. This is Jeff Chapman of Gold City, inviting you this holiday season to our presentation of a Gold City Christmas 2025 tour. Come join us for a wonderful evening of Christ-centered songs of the season, featuring the Band of Gold live and our special guest, Jim and Melissa Brady.
How I'm longing to ski through the snow.
And the Irwins.
Goodwill, may your dreams take flight.
We will be visiting 12 cities on our 2025 Christmas tour and performing songs off of our brand new Christmas album, Hope in a Manger. Go to goldcityministries.com for all the details, and we'll see you this Christmas season.
Now, you've heard a lot about your dad's story, and a lot of people know Mark's story and the groups that he was with. But tell me what it's like being both family and ministry partners with your dad before we get into your story.
I'll start with family. Growing up, everybody's always asked the question, what was it like growing up, being around? I was born into it, so I really never knew any difference, so I didn't know to pay attention to a
Right.
lot of it.
Had that Danny Riley effect almost.
Oh, yeah,
Very
yeah.
similar.
Not impressed,
Not.
Not that you're not, but
No,
you just
right.
don't know to be.
You're right.
Now I hear people all the time. When I was just a little boy, they were like, "Oh, we used to come see your dad sing with this group and that group and loved it." And I'm like, "Good for you." Yeah,
Yeah.
But no, I was 6 years old when we left the cathedrals, and I remember being there. I remember being around George and Glenn and
Stowe,
all the guys.
Ohio.
Yeah, and our house that we had there and all that stuff. But I didn't know to appreciate it. I guess that's my biggest. I wish I had been a little bit older in those years, and even the Gold City years. I spent my summers coming to the office out there.
Yeah.
And usually they were recording, and I'd get to sit there and listen to them, make their albums.
You probably had a little better appreciation at that
a
point.
little bit more,
but
yeah.
it's still
I was
not
interested,
anything.
but it still wasn't like oh wow, this is
You're not thinking that you're seeing history be made.
Yeah. Looking back at a lot of those albums that I was sitting there listening to them make,
Yeah.
they're historic albums now. And
Oh, absolutely.
As
We're
far as
literally
this,
re-releasing and putting them on vinyl.
yeah,
now, so.
yeah, and I guess that's my biggest. I wish I could go back and pay more attention, appreciate
Yeah.
it more. But as far as traveling, from day one, when I got on the bus, I didn't want it to be, you got the boss's son, then you got everybody else.
Yeah.
I always wanted it to be, I'm employee, we're father and
Treat
son.
me like
When we get off the
everybody else.
bus, when we get on the bus, I'm employee.
Yeah.
I'm one of the guys. And there's always going to be a little bit of that, But I try to make it where if all the guys are doing something, I'm right there in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I'm helping, I'm doing, I'm not going to be this person standing off to the side watching them do
Trying to
everything.
tell everybody what to do,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. So that's kind of the professional relationship that we've maintained.
One of my favorite things ever. What year did you go with the Perrys?
That was 2006.
Okay. So we're at convention. I was with Gary with Mercy's Mark and Fan Awards. And he wins.
Young artist.
Yeah, whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah.
And he gets up and he says, I want to thank Tracy. Was it did you say Tracy?
Tracy
or
and
did-
Libby, yeah.
I want
yeah.
to thank Tracy and Libby for doing something that my own daddy wouldn't do. Give me a job. That was one of the. I'll never forget it. I was a Nick fan at that moment. It was just hilarious.
I
That's
laughed
funny.
out loud.
Oh yeah,
I
it was
did.
such a great line.
Well, and he was my dad. He wanted what was best for me
Yeah.
growing up, and he didn't want me to leave school. He wanted me to stay in school and finish my degree and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you?
I eventually went back and did, but when I joined the Perrys, I hadn't done that
Yeah.
yet. And
he
I'll never
probably
forget
wasn't
when I was
overly
sitting
thrilled.
in. I had talked to Joseph Habeneck and I were buddies. I know y'all interviewed him a few
Oh,
weeks
yeah,
ago,
yeah.
so you've heard his side of this story. We were buddies for years before I went there, even before he went there. But this was back in the days of AOL Instant Messenger and all that
Oh,
stuff.
wow.
I was just sitting on the computer one night talking to some buddies, and his name popped up. They had just got back from a trip. And I just, out of nowhere, I just randomly was like, hey, if Lauren Harris ever leaves, let me know. Because I loved their music.
Yeah, man, they were hitting.
It would have been a dream come
They
true
were
to be a
so
part of
good
them.
at that
Yeah,
time too.
yeah.
Oh, my. Yeah.
It was incredible.
And he was like, well, actually, it just so happens that he is leaving. So this was about a month before I actually went and, had my tryout weekend or whatever. But they left another weekend. Somebody else went out with them. And then they came back from that trip, and that was when Joe went to Tracy and said that
he wanted to do it. Yeah.
So when he came back and said that, I was like, well, I definitely want to try it now. Because I was iffy on singing lead with him, but I was like, yeah,
I
I'll
can
do the
handle that
baritone,
baritone
sure.
stuff.
So Tracy called Dad first. I was sitting in the living room. He was in his office. in
boy.
there. And Tracy called Dad, and I heard him. He said, I'm just looking for a baritone singer. If you know of anybody, let me know.
Mark said, I ain't interested.
Yeah. So when he hung up, it was silent for about 20 seconds. And then I hear from the other room, he said, well, you might want to give Tracy a call.
Well,
So-
so that was neat because that was kind of him saying,
That was his
Go
way
ahead.
of his blessing, yeah.
yeah.
I
Mark,
I
what was that
kinda
like?
took it that
I mean,
way.
because you wanted him to get his degree.
Oh, it's bittersweet for me. It's like you've heard these stories about, like my dad. I was a pastor of a church, and pastors don't want their kids to be pastors.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
plumbers don't want their kids to own a plumbing
I'm
business.
that way with my boys. I don't want them doing this.
You don't. There you go.
It's
See,
just too much. There's too much pain.
that's
there's-
exactly it.
Yeah.
Nobody gets that. And it's when you're a singer or you're in anything creative, everybody don't get it.
No.
Everybody don't understand
Uh-uh.
the stuff that you go through. And I just never. Brandy always said, "Well, why don't you want them to sing?" And
You don't want them to have to go through what you went
No, I
through
want 'em
in
to-
order to be able to accomplish anything.
just want them to be normal. You
And
know?
I
it
didn't
seems-
get that at the time.
No, you
No.
won't.
He
But
was,
you
he was
understand it a
protecting
little
me.
now.
I have my kids now, and I
Yeah.
completely understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got my middle
Oh,
boy,
man.
Charlie. He
He's
he
ate
loves
up
coming
with
to
it.
convention.
Yeah.
He gets on the bus with us every once in a while. He loves it. And I've
Good
got the
little singer.
same, it's the same feeling
Yeah.
for sure.
You want it. I mean, obviously, it's not one of those things that you don't want, but it's just there's so much heartache that comes with what we do that people don't have a clue about.
No,
And
no,
we don't let people know.
No, No, and they don't need to.
No.
No, they really don't.
No.
But that doesn't keep it from being there.
Right.
Yeah. And that's not a complaint about this.
No, not at all.
But it's not just. I know some people that just think, oh, well, y'all just go out and have fun and
No,
get on
come
that
on.
bus and go. Yeah, we see.
We do have a lot
Love's
of fun.
truck stops and Walmart parking lots and
Planet Fitness if
Yeah.
you want to get in shape.
You must
That's
really
about
see
it.
the world when you're traveling on
Yeah,
that bus.
yeah.
That's the number
At
one
night.
thing.
Yeah,
That I
Interstate
what you
at
see
night,
is
yeah.
the top of your bunk above you. That's what
Well, when Tracy was
A lot
talking
of-
to you, did you were you talking to God too? Was it one of those things of, what do I do here?
I don't remember talking to God until after that conversation was over, if you want to know
Because
the truth.
he didn't get the job yet, so it's
'Cause,
one of those things that was still safe.
But when I got off the phone with Tracy and I told him you might want to call Tracy, he and I had had a conversation about the possibility of it. And I told him, I said, hey, if that's what you want to do it. If you're looking for my blessing, you've got it.
Wow.
I'd rather you finish your education, but if you're looking for my blessing, you've got it.
You never.
And we were in a pickup truck headed to my brother's house when all of this took place.
But you never had that opportunity yourself. It wasn't you hit the road coming out 15 years old. You're quartetting. You're going.
Well, I had to go back to the day that I told my dad that I had the opportunity to join the Senators
Yeah.
and ride a 15 years old. Back then, I guess it was a little different than today's 15 years old.
It's a
because
lot. It was a lot different.
Dad would take me to, when he said yes, he would take me literally to the Little Rock Continental Trailways bus station and put me on a bus that was going to stop in Memphis.
Wow. Crazy.
And I'd get off
Crazy
there.
to even think with no form of communication.
None.
Wow.
Until I'd get to Memphis and I'd call and I would back then we had a code. I'd make a collect call to myself at home, at my home number in Little Rock. That way they'd know I'd made it to the Memphis bus station and
Yeah.
I was okay. If it was not a collect call to myself, if it was collect to mom or dad, then they knew something was going on.
Wow.
But I mean, that's how we communicated.
Yeah.
And most all of the time, the bus would pick me up there, and we'd leave for the weekend. I'd have it scheduled where I could get to there, and then they'd pick me up and we'd leave. And once in a while, Ray or Rick would come and get me there and take me to Collierville, where the bus stayed, where Ray lived. So, man, there's so many little intricate things that we can talk about that took place in my life, but it takes place in all of our lives.
Yeah.
There are things that go on, like when you said pain. Nobody sees that 15-year-old boy getting in at 11 o'clock at night on Sunday night. Now, is it his fault? Yeah, it is. Because he chose to do this, and
Right.
his parents gave their blessing.
Yeah.
Reluctantly, but they gave their blessing. Well, I'm going to land this plane in a minute, but the pain that you're talking about is getting on that Continental Trailways bus at 2:30 or 3 in the morning,
Right.
and your dad picking you up at 6 in Little Rock, and he takes you to breakfast and then straight to school.
Straight to school.
Mm.
Yeah. Nobody gets
And
that.
then says, if your grades drop, you're
done.
coming home.
Yeah. No more quartetting.
Well, they couldn't. I couldn't let them.
Right.
And somehow, by God's grace, I got out.
Yeah.
But that's part of the pain. You're a 15-year-old boy sitting in Continental Trailways bus station in Memphis trying to sleep 2 or 3 hours. And then on the bus, so Monday, and it's all because of what God placed in him to
That's
do,
it.
and was willing to pay the price. We got a lot of folks in today's world that want to do this, but they're
Right.
not willing to pay the price.
Yeah. Have no idea even what the price is.
No.
Yeah.
And it grieves me because some of them will ask me, hey, what does it take to do this? And I'm thinking, honey, you really don't want to know that.
They want to know, but they have no idea. That's the thing. I mean, I remember being in those spots, and you remember being in those spots, and you remember being in those spots. We wanted to hear the easy answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always. You want it to be much easier than what it actually was, even to the point of you thinking that somebody like Mark is trying to dissuade you from even thinking about doing it with all these stories. Well, that can't be true. He made that up. But no, it's true.
Well, Nick had come home from the Perrys. He got married, came home from the Perrys, sang with his wife's family's group for a little over a year.
I forgot about that.
And then then Dustin Sweatman decided he wanted to go to West Tennessee and teach there at Bethel. And I'm thinking, okay. And I start getting some phone calls when the word gets out that we're going to be looking for a singer. And I let him know. I said, Dustin's going to be leaving. And I could tell Tessa was born.
Mm.
And I could tell right after we had that conversation, Tessa was born. So that's our oldest granddaughter, oldest grandchild. And it was bittersweet for him because when I went to him and said, if you're ever going to sing with me, now is probably going to be the right time.
Here comes your baby. Or
Yeah.
here is your baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was born about 6 weeks before I had my first date with the group.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And when he and I, the only real serious conversation we ever had, I looked at him, I said, son, if you do want to do this and you do want to get on the bus, you know that you got 100% support from your daddy. As your dad, 100% support. He came home and finished his degree before all of this took place, by
Wow.
the way, just to keep everything in chronological order.
Yeah.
And he's got a degree in accounting.
So getting a good job, is not an issue at
No.
that point. You know, you've got,
No.
it's not. I mean, you
Yeah.
can go have a normal life at that point if you want
Yes.
to.
So, he's on the bus, and I tell him, if you decide that you really want to do this, Daddy's going to be the reason that you're not at home. Daddy's going to be the reason that you miss ball games, and he didn't even have kids yet.
Yeah.
Your daddy's going to be the reason for anything that you don't get to enjoy.
Right.
It'll be because of what we do. But in your mind, daddy's going to be the reason.
Mm.
That's a scary proposition.
And that's something that I had to deal with
Yeah.
before I could be at peace with letting him on the bus. I always told him, I'm happy for you to work doing what I do, if that's what you want to do. But you're going to go do that with somebody else so you know what the difference is.
Yeah.
You go work for the other man for a while, figure out what the real world's about, and then we'll talk about this.
That's a good move.
And I had to have the same conversation with Larissa. And I told her, I said, I'm not trying to be mean to our son. That is my boy. I'm not trying to be mean to him, but I do want him to know what's out there in the real world.
Well, there wasn't no doubt which
Because
side.
when I'm gone, that's where he's going to have to go.
There was never a
Right.
doubt in that either where Larissa was going to land. If there was ever an issue, it wasn't going to be on your side.
No, of course not.
That was her baby.
Yeah. Yes.
So you had it. That's a lot of pressure.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
also tons of pressure from the standpoint if you started resenting this,
Yeah.
there's resentment for him.
Yeah.
So you just opened my eyes to some things.
it can either be a double positive or it can be a double negative.
Yeah.
But it won't be a positive and a negative.
Right.
It's going to be double one or the other. And you cannot not see it that way.
Yeah.
Because, again, time will prove which one it was.
For sure.
And I have enjoyed every single day having him on the bus with me.
How about you?
Yeah.
No, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't have hard days, but he would too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it's not anything between me and him.
Yeah.
No.
It's just my daughter's cheering at a ball game tonight in Sandrock.
That's how it is, man.
And
We miss it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to be here. So that stuff, even when I joined here, my daughter was, like I said, six weeks old. So
It's just so much.
I just
that
went
you
home
miss.
and I had 3 days at home with her, sat there in the little rocking chair and held her, and then I'd go off and do this, and then I'd come back. The older they get, the harder it gets because
Yes.
it's like they're all scattered out in different directions. And
Yeah.
I've got my third now, and he's 3 years old running around, and, you know, it's like he's going to be off doing the same stuff soon. And it's hard to miss that. It's also hard to know that my wife's trying to chase all that around while I'm
Right.
out here.
Yeah, dealing with
And
life.
Yeah, I'm getting a phone call from her, and she's taking one to practice, trying to get one to a game, and go back and pick the other one up and stuff like that. So
I used to say that Larissa was the best quartet wife ever, and I still think she's one of the best that ever came along.
Got some serious
But I'm going to tell you that Jessica Trammell could teach a class
Yeah.
in being quartet wife.
Yeah.
Because there's days when our wives at home, and you men know this better than anybody, there's days when our wives at home have to be husband, wife, mom, dad, taxi driver,
plumber.
plumber,
Yeah.
electrician, whatever. They have to be all of it.
Right.
And I couldn't be more proud of any human than I am my daughter-in-law.
That's awesome.
Because I know what she's trying to chase around that house. Because I've tried to chase them for a few minutes. She has them for hours and hours before they go to
Something
sleep.
else.
It becomes more about the quality of time when you're home
Absolutely,
than the
yeah.
quantity of time.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to explain to a lot of people that ask me about my home work-life balance. It just, you have to really be in the moment when you're home and get as much as you can in while you're there.
Yeah.
But y'all have a great group, a great quartet, and I, from the tenor to the bass, I enjoyed, when Eric Phillips and Dustin was here. I thought that was a great lineup. But this lineup that y'all have now is top notch.
We're having a good time. We got good guys with us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on with the. We're going to do this again, probably a couple of more times, because
Okay.
there's so many questions I have.
Yeah.
Of we'll come back and we kind of touch the Senators and the Southmen. I
Yeah,
want
there's
to
so
get
many
into
stories
Kingsmen
that
and the,
we can tell and we can't
so
tell.
if you will do it for us, we want to continue
Sure.
on, but we don't want to get this drug out. We
We'll be
all got to
happy
go get
to.
ready to sing here in
Yeah.
just a little while. What's going on with the Trammell? You told me y'all going in tomorrow to do
We're doing
Christmas
this is
thing.
our fourth Christmas project to do with the Wisnits. We do the Home for Christmas
Yeah.
tour with them
Yeah.
every year, and that's probably 10 or 11 years in a row now we've done that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going in the morning. When we
So
leave
that's
here to
that's
go
new. That's a
do
new
a
thing
few.
coming.
It's going to be a shorter project. It's
Yeah.
more like an EP. It's just like I think.
6 or 7 songs, something like that.
Yeah. So it's not full project, but
But we've got
Yeah, we're-
3 to do tomorrow.
yeah, and it's supposed to be out in 3 weeks.
Trey's
wow.
Trey's
Trey's
producing.
producing
Yeah,
it.
great.
So
And that's
we're
been a
leaving
great
here.
working
We go to
relationship.
Charlotte to get 3.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Charlotte location.
That's been a great working relationship with Trey too. I got to travel with Trey. He's a
Oh.
genius. Just a very talented
Oh
person.
yeah, definitely.
And I think he gets you.
He
well.
does.
Yeah.
He does. He again. This goes back to some. We'd start digging into history again. He was a great student of Larry Goss.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because of that, he gets me because I loved
Yeah.
Larry Goss like
Yeah.
a brother.
Yeah.
We had a great relationship. Outside of the studio, we had a great relationship. When Nick and Jonathan were babies, Larry and I literally we'd go to Radio Shack back in those days and try to find the noisiest toy we could find, and we'd send them to each other. And I finally, Carolyn, bless her heart, she finally got involved in it when I sent from Nick to Jonathan a box of silly string. The spray can string, you know.
She said that's enough.
Oh, Lord have mercy. She stepped in. She said, "You boys are going to have to stop now."
You thought you were playing a joke on Larry. And
Yeah,
you
yeah, and
the
it wound
wives
up-
were catching the brunt
Yeah,
of it.
and I think Carolyn wound up having silly string all in her hair right before her
Oh,
singing
no.
church. So that wasn't a good.
Not a good thing.
Yeah, Jonathan got in trouble. So did Mark. Nick didn't. But I say that to say this: Trey knows my heart when it comes to music, not only entertaining you but moving you.
Yeah.
And if it moves you, then I feel like we've been successful.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want it to entertain you? Absolutely.
Of course.
So many people are afraid of that word, entertainment. But let me tell you something. Any preacher that's worth his salt
Yes, sir.
is going to usually open up before he actually gives the 3 points.
Right.
Right after he has read the scripture, he will open up with a story of some kind that
Oh,
will
yeah.
break the ice and make people
Yep.
relax.
And
make
usually a
them
few
laugh.
jokes too. That's
Yes.
how they do it. So it's entertainment.
So what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's entertaining them in order to get their attention.
Attention.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm not afraid of that word. You just got to know when to and how to.
Yeah.
But Trey, like Larry, being the student he was from the heart, not just the head, but Trey being the student, and there's 2 or 3 that went to
Oh, yeah.
the Larry Goss School,
Yeah.
Mindset School of Music, and they know how to emotionally wrap an intro around a song where it sets you up, and all you got to do is just deliver the message.
Right.
Yeah.
And they can write music around the singers instead of over the singers.
Mm.
That's the biggest pet peeve I have in today's world is there are some who will have music getting in the way of the most important part, which
Right.
is the message that's being sung.
Right.
But
That's
y'all didn't ask for all of that.
No, we actually did. We
So
actually did.
where
That's
can
my
they go to
preaching
find
message.
out about your Home for Christmas tour?
And well, all your information. Just give us.
So we're all on bands in town. That's the best place to go find our schedules.
Okay.
Home for Christmas, I believe, if you'll look on our Facebook pages, we also have a Facebook page for the Home for Christmas tour,
Great.
if they want to look that up. But both Mark Trammell Quartet and Wisnitz all share
You
from
can find
that as
everything
well.
at
And you can go to our
marktrammellquartet.com.
websites.
Go to our websites, Facebook pages, all the social media stuff. Everybody has
It's all out there.
All the
Social
multiple-
media
yeah.
right now, Facebook especially, is blowing up with our schedule. It's on there, and
Yeah.
people can find it.
Best thing,
Good.
we're trying to get people to go to bands in town, sign up, get an account, put your email address in, put your address in, and if there's a group that you go follow,
It will
it'll
show
send
up.
you an email
Yeah.
when they're going to come within
And it's
60
free.
miles of you.
And it's
Yeah,
free.
yeah, it's a free
Yeah, it's a
service.
free
So
thing.
if we could get the majority of our
industry
people
to do it.
yeah, that I think that would help concert attendance.
That probably would. Yeah,
Big
it's a
time.
great idea.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you all for. You got anything else? There?
I don't.
Big Indian.
No.
Okay, good.
We'll save the rest for next
We'll
time.
we'll get it next time. Thank
Thank
y'all
you.
so much.
Hey,
you
our
guys.
pleasure.
Just get you thinking, cap on. You probably won't have to, but next time I want to get into those Kingsman and Cathedral
Okay.
years.
Well, I'll be mulling that over so
That's
I
great.
can intelligently speak to it. Maybe.
Thank you guys.